Savable. Oh, no doubt about it.
Because otherwise you would want to stay on, right, and reform it, but you think it
can't be saved.
It cannot be saved.
I've
never argued with that. I've never argued that of the false equivalency. I just said there is misinformation from both sides.
Well,
no, I lived through COVID. Don't tell me there wasn't misinformation.
But there's a difference between...
I lived through stupid policies based on bad information and stifled information.
What happened on live TV between Joe Scarborough and Bill Maher wasn't just awkward, it was unforgettable. It started like any other debate, but it quickly turned into something no one saw coming. Scarborough was doing what he usually does, going on a loud rant about Trump. But this time, Maher had enough. He didn't let it slide. With just a few sharp words, Maher turned the whole conversation around, and Scarborough didn't know what hit him. You could actually see the change on Scarborough's face. One minute he was fired up, tossing out opinions like confetti, and the next he looked lost, like he forgot where he was. He didn't fight back, he didn't explain, he just kind of gave up. People watching at home couldn't believe what they were seeing. It was one of those moments that you know will be replayed and talked about for days. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a total meltdown.
Trump said that he was going to use the military and the National Guard to arrest his political opponents. He was asked if he would back off of that.
He said no.
And he said no. Yep. In fact, he doubled down. He talked about Nancy Pelosi being evil, her husband being evil, Schiff being evil, talking about arresting them. He said he was going to execute the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff because he was disloyal to him. He told another chief of staff who was a general, I wish my generals were like Hitler's generals.
So, what exactly did Scarborough say that set everything off? Well, he jumped into another over-the-top rant about Trump. It was like he was stuck in the past, still living in 2016, unable to move on. He twisted Trump's latest comment, ripped it out of context, and made it sound way worse than it really was. The goal? To stir up outrage. But Bill Maher wasn't having it. He calmly pointed out that Scarborough left out the most important parts of Trump's statement. There was no full quote, no real context, just drama. Maher didn't need to shout. He just told the truth. And Scarborough, he started shrinking in his chair. It was like he realized in real time that he didn't have a leg to stand on. You could feel the tension through the screen. It wasn't just about Trump anymore. It was about how the media spins things to fit their story.
There is no doubt.
There's no misinformation.
There's some disinformation from the left, but comparing it to what Donald Trump spews out every day, every week, comparing it to what Elon Musk is spewing out, unfortunately, on X, you sound like Brett Stevens now, with all due respect. It's a joke. That's a real time.
And you sound like him, who looks like Rachel Maddow.
You understand what I'm saying?
I've never argued with that. I've never argued that of the false equivalency. I just said there is misinformation from both sides. No, I lived through COVID. Don't tell me there wasn't misinformation.
But there's a difference between...
I lived through stupid policies based on bad information and stifled information.
But intent matters.
That's what Zuckerberg said. He said they were forcing it.
This wasn't an accident. The way Scarborough edited Trump's words was done on purpose. It was designed to create anger and keep people upset. This is how some networks operate now. They don't care about truth. They care about clicks, ratings, and keeping their audience angry enough to keep watching. They take quotes, twist them, and turn them into viral headlines. And when the full story finally comes out, silence. No corrections, no apologies. We've seen this time and time again. The Russia collusion story dragged on for years, then faded away. The Hunter Biden laptop was called fake until it turned out to be real. Even Trump's fine. People comment was taken out of context. Each time, the truth comes out. But by then, the damage is done. Maher called it what it is, a dishonest playbook. And Scarborough, whether he realized it or not, was following it to the letter.
An alert to injustice, and a lot of people get triggered by the word because when they hear it, they think of it the old meaning, which was good.
Right.
You know, stay woke. But I'm sorry, language is a living, breathing entity. Words change and they migrate and they take on a different meaning. And woke now has to answer for, or for people have just used the word to ascribe a number of extreme things on the left.
What makes this worse is that the media never looks in the mirror. They never admit when they're wrong. They just keep doubling down. That's the real problem. If they were honest, they'd have to admit they've spent years twisting facts and chasing drama. But that kind of honesty would shake everything up, and they're not ready for that. Maher made another good point, though he missed the mark a bit. He said this whole woke thing is just a small group online, but that's not true anymore. Wokeness is everywhere. It's in Hollywood, in politics, in the media, on college campuses. It's not fringe, it's mainstream. And Scarborough didn't even argue. He knew it was true. The obsession with cancel culture, identity politics, and constant outrage isn't coming from the sidelines, it's coming from the top. Even politicians like Kamala Harris are wrapped up in it. She didn't just walk into the woke movement, she's leading it. Trump's record isn't just long, it's strong. He boosted the economy, made tough deals, and held other countries accountable. And when he came back into the political spotlight, he didn't play it safe. He took control, flipped key seats, and reminded everyone why his movement is still alive. The GOP had been losing ground for years. Trump changed that. This wasn't just a win, it was a message. The people were done with fake promises and weak leaders. They wanted someone who would fight for them, and they showed up, voted, and made their voices loud and clear. The so-called silent majority, not silent anymore. Trump isn't just back, he's back with fire, and he's not playing politics as usual. This is a whole new game. The America First movement is here to stay, and it's gaining speed. The next chapter, it's going to be big. Now, let's talk about why Trump still has so much support. He talks about things that matter to everyday people, like protecting women's sports, defending parental rights, and stopping radical ideas from being pushed on kids. These aren't wild ideas. For many families, they're just common sense. But saying them out loud? That takes guts. And Trump isn't afraid. He also cracked down on the southern border when it was turning into a crisis. He shut down loopholes, fought cartels, and made public safety a priority. He didn't just talk, he acted. He also tried to clean up government waste, especially in places like USAID, where money was being lost to fraud. Trump made it clear, if you're wasting tax, money, or letting criminals walk free, he's coming for you. Here's the truth. Admitting progress doesn't mean the fight is over. It means being honest about where we've been and how far we've come. But that honesty can hurt the people who profit from outrage. Think about Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny, Hostin, and Don Lemon. They're not just TV hosts, they're brands. And their brand needs division. The more upset people are, the more views they get. If America came together, if people felt hopeful instead of angry, their spotlight might fade. That's why they keep stirring the pot. It's not just about justice anymore, it's about business. Drama sells, peace doesn't. The constant outrage keeps people locked in, even if it's built on half-truths. Meanwhile, regular Americans just want to move forward, but the media keeps hitting rewind. Let's talk about racism, but the real kind, not the hashtag kind. Racism is serious, and solving it takes real work. You don't fix it with slogans. You fix it by changing systems step by step. But what are we doing instead? We're rolling out flashy programs like DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion that sound good but often fail in real life. They create confusion and resentment. It's like we're more focused on looking like we're doing something than actually doing it. Maher made a bold point. The left keeps acting like America hasn't changed, but it has. No one's saying, racism is gone, but we have made progress. A lot of it. We've seen huge steps forward in politics, business, and culture, but some people refuse to admit that, because if they did, the crisis they keep shouting about might not seem so urgent, and that would hurt their brand. Kamala Harris isn't just surrounded by woke politics, she's deep in it. Her campaign was backed by people pushing those ideas the hardest. Celebrities praised her, the media protected her. She got treated like a superstar, while Trump was constantly under attack. That's not a balanced system. That's a machine working overtime to shape public opinion. And it's working. Woke politics has become the new normal in powerful circles. Maher said it perfectly. If America wants to come back together, we need real leadership. People who listen to everyone, not just their base. We need to stop playing to social media and start solving real problems. that means focusing on jobs, safety, education, and healthcare. We can't fix things if we're always chasing trends, and we definitely can't heal if we treat people who disagree like enemies.